firstly, what kind of game is it?
It's a fast-paced shooter. I wouldn't call it a battle royale, but it's kind of along those principles. You have tournaments where you have 4 teams battling it out for vaults. So there'll be 2 vaults at a time, and your objective is to get to a vault, unlock it, and take it to a cash out. So quite often you'll be, 2v2 teaming, but you can get third-partied in it. And the top 2 teams in that round progress to the next round because there's another 4 teams playing at the same time, and then them 4 teams do the same again, and then you get to a final, which is 1 team against the other battling for vaults.
So it sounds almost like a cross between objective-based modes and battle royale to perhaps a slightly lesser extent.
Yeah, I think that's how I would describe it. You get respawn tokens, so you start off with 2 and then you get 1 after each round. And obviously you get revived, and if your whole team dies, it's a team wipe and you come back in 15-20 seconds.
How does it feel? I mean, it looks quite a fast-paced game. Is it fluid? Is the gunplay good?
It's very fluid, very fast-paced. Almost anything in the maps can be destroyed by RPGs, grenades.
Like Battlefield.
Like abilities. So the heavy has a charge and slam, so they can run through the walls. So it's very destructible, and as I just said, there's heavies what have an ability of charge and slam. There's also 2 other classes, a medium and a light. So lights are very movable, they don't have as much health, so they're meant to dash in, get a kill, get out, scout ahead kind of thing. You have your mediums who are all-rounders. You have some healing abilities, some movement abilities as well, but not as much as the lights. And then you have your heavies who are meant to stay alive, keep your team alive with shields and domes. So, team configuration can be a big part of the game.
So it sounds, again, like Battlefield in that you've got the classes, although I realise the last Battlefield game did have operators. That went well. So why don't we compare this to something like, say, Valorant? Not that we've just reviewed that or anything.
No.
How does it differ?
So the gameplay, you could compare it to Call of Duty or an Apex. It's fast moving, you can run, you can shoot, you don't have to be stood still to hit shots. It is a very fast paced game like, Call of Duty, Apex Legends.
More arcadey, perhaps less simulatory, but more arcadey.
Very arcadey looking as well. The graphics are very arcadey.
So yeah, I mean the graphics do look better than something like Valorant. How's the sound design? Can you pinpoint people when you're wearing decent headphones?
Again, that's something that's lacking a little bit. It is the sound design. You can't always gather where people are. That is definitely an area to be improved upon.
This is another free-to-play game, so how do they monetize this one?
Again, skins, battle passes. But unlike other free-to-play games, it is actually very generous in the skins and items it gives you, because you can get items to customise the appearance of your agents, to customise the appearance of your guns, so you can get some really unique looks on your agents, make them feel like your agents. But actually, I just got enough coins to buy the battle pass without having to pay for it, and then by completing a battle pass, you can buy the next one, and you get so much free aesthetics in it that I haven't ever felt the need to buy anything in it, so I think it's very generous in what it gives you.
Literally rewards you for playing it rather than trying to constantly steer you down the real money purchase route.
100%.
So would you say this is a less forgiving game? A more forgiving game than others in its genre, like Valorant or Counter-Strike?
Definitely, it's I'd say it's very, very different. It's more along the lines of Call of Duty Warzone or Apex, but unlike them, you'll die in a round and then you're out. You do have the respawns, and it's all about getting the cash. And the first cash box is worth less than the second and the third, so you can be at the bottom on the final cash out, and you can get a last minute steal on the box, and you can end up going first or second and qualifying. So it's very much a fast-paced game. 1 minute you're losing, next minute you're winning. Then you're winning and you're losing. You've got to keep track of everything all the time.
And the presentation of the game as well is very much that there's an audience watching. It's almost a bit like the Running Man but slightly better odds for the player though.
Yeah, and you see posters of your characters on the wall. You've got actually commentators as well. So when a team gets killed, it's like unlucky such and such team just got a team wipe, and then when they respawn, he's saying the other team better watch out because they're coming to get you. So it is very much like a sporting event.
Is it well moderated?
I've never noticed any need for any moderation. It doesn't actually need it. I've never encountered it. Unlike other games, you don't get many people talking unless you're in a party with them. It's not that toxic. People just play it. So I don't think I've not noticed a smurfing or cheating problem that much, which can be very big issues in free-to-play games.
Any major bugs or glitches we need to know about?
Yeah, that's probably its biggest flaw in my opinion, is server-side lag. I mean, I've got very good internet, a gigabyte a second. I've got this plugged into my router, and I'll just get server-side packet loss and bugs where I get killed because of it, or where I freeze for 5 seconds. That is very much a pitfall to it. Obviously, they're quite a small development team and they are doing another game at the moment, so hopefully that is something that will be addressed and fixed, but at the current state of play, the server-side issues are frustrating. You do encounter them every game, but not enough to put you off playing it, but enough to get frustrated.
So, what would you give it as a score as it stands right now?
I think I would give it 79%, them server-side issues being what's keeping it down, because it's a very, very fun, fast-paced game to play, and I think if they could fix them server-side issues, I actually think I'd be giving it an mid-80s. It's capable of that in terms of gameplay, it's just the server-side issues what are keeping it down.
But being a live service game, it will hopefully get there before everyone abandons it for something else.
Well, exactly, especially as the dev team are saying they're going to put more time and effort in it once that other game they're working on releases.
Okay, let's compare it to the obvious. If this went up against Valorant, which would win?
I think it depends what type of game you want to play. If you want a fast-paced arcadey shooter, this. If you want a tactical shooter, very much thinking about where you position and aiming, then Valorant.